Setting up a WiFiLan the easy way, part 2 of 2, the wireless portions. In part 1 of this two-part series, we acknowledged the fact that wireless networks are never entirely wireless, and we discussed the wired infrastructure that's needed to support the wireless portions. At this point, all of that wired infrastructure should be in place, and you should have at least one PC using a hardwired Ethernet connection and an ordinary Internet browser application to communicate with your residential gateway equipment, as if it were any ordinary Internet website. If all of your residential gateway equipment is packaged into a single device, then you'll use its single menu structure to navigate into the Wi-Fi logic. If the Wi-Fi portion of your wired infrastructure relies on a separate wireless access point, then you'll need to tell your browser to communicate directly with it through its default management IP address using the same methods that were described in part 1. In either case, you'll need to confirm your authority to proceed by providing the associated default username and your new password, as discussed in part 1. For a more detailed introduction to the management of your networking equipment from your PC's browser application, refer to the movie entitled Managing Your Network Equipment with Your Web Browser, which is available in the Networking Fundamentals section at AskMisterWizard.com. Once you've proven that you know the required password, the wireless access point logic of your residential gateway equipment will present you with a lot of related options. You'll need to assign a unique name to your own new Wi-Fi network. You'll activate Wi-Fi radio transmitters and receivers and associate each with a frequency channel and with one or more useful 802.11 protocols. Finally, it's important to secure the resulting data streams with some kind of encryption. Different vendors offer these choices in different logical sequences, and it's generally okay to hop around among the offered menu choices, filling in the required information in whatever order seems most convenient to you as you figure things out. The menu logic is generally well thought out, and it won't let you make choices that are contradictory or dysfunctional. However, it will probably allow you to set up your network in a way that is shamefully insecure. With the information in this video, you'll be well prepared to avoid that mistake. Enabling your Wi-Fi radio transmitters and receivers. Among your first steps, you will probably have to enable Wi-Fi operation, because it's often disabled until you specifically turn it on. That's generally just a single click of your mouse. Choosing an appropriate 802.11 protocol version. At some point, you'll need to choose among several popular 802.11 versions. While it may seem obvious that you will want the newest, fastest version, the choice is not always that simple unless all of your computers and other Wi-Fi devices are brand new. You really need to look over all of your equipment and determine all of the 802.11 protocol versions that are in use. A careful reading of labels on the equipment itself or a careful review of the retail packaging materials is generally sufficient. Sometimes a Google search on the manufacturer's name and model number is helpful. At the time of this writing in 2009, the latest, greatest popular Wi-Fi protocol is version 802.11n. If all of your equipment supports that latest, greatest new protocol version, then you need not activate any others, and you can ignore or disable any option to handle the older 802.11g or 802.11b variants. If none of your equipment supports 802.11n, but all of it supports 802.11g, then you'll be fine if that's the only protocol you enable in your Wi-Fi access point logic. But a lot of old equipment still in use supports only the old 802.11b variant. If you have any of that stuff, then you'll need to make sure your Wi-Fi infrastructure equipment enables that option. It is commonplace for wireless access point logic to support multiple protocol variants. Turn on all of those you anticipate needing. You'll get slightly better performance if you disable all the protocols that you know you will never need. Selecting an appropriate Wi-Fi channel. Like any radio, Wi-Fi radios are subject to radio interference. To minimize interference, they can be configured to use any of these several different channels. You could simply ignore these channel options and things will generally work anyway because the protocols were designed for efficient sharing of single channels when necessary, but you will probably get better performance and you'll get along better with your neighbors if you choose channels wisely. If your neighbors already have Wi-Fi equipment, try asking them which channels they are using and avoid those choices. Some wireless equipment will display a list of nearby Wi-Fi transmitters and the channels they are using. If your equipment offers this information, you can use it to optimize your choice. Each channel is located at a different radio frequency, with the lowest frequency assigned to channel number 1. Higher channel numbers get higher frequencies. Try to choose a channel whose frequency is as far removed as possible from the channels used by your closest neighbors. You might want to experiment with this setting during the first few weeks of your Wi-Fi experience to see which channel works the best in your neighborhood. If you have a lot of close neighbors, you may want to work out some kind of agreement so that each household accrues informal rights to an individual channel. At the time of this writing in 2009, there are 11 channels to choose from, and serious problems with interference are generally easy to avoid. Giving your Wi-Fi network a unique name. You'll need to give your Wi-Fi network a name when you assign it to a channel. Nearby Wi-Fi equipment will listen on all available channels from time to time, and will list available Wi-Fi networks by name, not usually by channel number. It'll be less confusing if you choose a unique, memorable name for your network. Securing your Wi-Fi network. Your Wi-Fi equipment will probably offer you a variety of tools and options related to security. Experience has shown that the only standardized security option that can stand up to attack by even casual hackers is the WPA encryption family. SSID hiding is not effective, and WEP encryption is easily defeated by readily available free tools. Stick with WPA. All of the WPA variants are effective, but in general for home use the WPA PSK or pre-shared key version is easiest to manage, and it's nice and secure if you choose an appropriate passphrase, something with a lot of characters in it, including some numbers and punctuation. Take a few minutes to become familiar with the various menu choices and options available related to your Wi-Fi radios and the encryption and security methods that you can apply. By exercising these principles, you will easily be able to get your Wi-Fi radios and computers speaking to each other without wires and with good security.